This video will be a bit different from my previous work here on YouTube. Today, I want to share some of my favorite wildlife encounters from Costa Rica that forever changed the way I keep pets. Some animals, like these squirrel monkeys, we could watch from a safe distance without disturbing them. But some encounters were a bit too close for comfort, as you can see here in this next clip.
Up for the exterminator. Oh shit! Oh jävlar!
However, I survived the iguana attack and we continued to explore and study in Costa Rica. Me and my two classmates and close friends, Theo and Jonathan, did a lot of recreational fishing together with Luis, an ichthyology expert from UNA, and Bernie, the boat captain. They also played an integral part in helping us connect with local fishermen for our bachelor's thesis.
Jag var filmar hela tiden. Ja, det är bra.
We traveled a lot on our trip with a rental car that definitely wasn't suitable for the Costa Rican wilderness. However, we still managed to explore some of the Caribbean coast of the country. In the small town of Manzanillo, we stayed at an Airbnb located inside an old coca bean farm that had been abandoned long ago. Since then, the jungle had taken back the land, and we found an amazing abundance of life just outside the villa. It was here that we encountered two breathtakingly beautiful species of poison dart frog, and I immediately knew that I had to find a way to keep them back at home when the time was right. Half a year later of research and planning, I purchased the glass box that soon would resemble a thriving rainforest ecosystem. After considering my options, I decided to purchase a glass terrarium measuring 75 by 40 by 80 centimeters tall and began planning what I wanted to do with the scape. I took inspiration from Troy Goldberg's 600-gallon paludarium and decided to incorporate 3 waterfalls and an aquatic section. The background is a very important part of the enclosure and serves many purposes such as living space for the frogs, and it makes it easier to incorporate plants and wood in a natural looking way. Therefore, I took my time to add driftwood in key locations and carved the expanded foam to my preference. I went through many iterations until I was happy with the look. The expanded foam was coated with a thick layer of silicone and then covered with a substrate to give it a more natural look. I used pieces of sponge filter mat for both the substrate and the drainage layer and covered it with a mixture of sand and gravel and aqua soil. Before adding the frogs, I did an initial planting and added a cleanup crew to take care of decomposing organic matter. 6 months later, this is the result.
Okay guys, so today I will be showing you my favorite enclosure, which is this 75 by 40 by 80 tall paludarium, and it's just under 6 months old, I think. I set everything up in December of last year, and as you can see, the plants have really taken off in that short amount of time. I'm used to aquarium plants and they grow really slow, for me at least, so it's been quite refreshing to keep some plants that actually grow, which is really nice. And it's a custom background here, and I got three separate like water features, small waterfalls, that you cannot see anymore because the plants have completely taken over. But in certain places you can see that it still drips, and that's really beneficial for the moss at least. And since the hydrocotyle here has completely overgrown the aquatic section, the frogs can actually use that as a walking habitat as well. But they really do prefer to spend most of the time up in the branches here. And yeah, let's actually start talking about the stars of the show as well. They were out feeding earlier, but it seems like they've taken off a bit. They probably don't like me talking about them, but I can always overlay some feeding footage of them because they're always out normally. But here are my Dendrobates auratus. I recently acquired these from a reptile expo, a local one, and I'm really happy with them. I got 4 of those. And also I got another species. I know that people won't like that, but I got a Ranitomea species here, the Urakori, and it's the gold leg variant, if my camera wants to focus. There we go. And obviously I did a lot of research prior to mixing 2 species, and I found no information of them being able to interbreed. And I also know that both of these species are very calm in nature, and I think if some problems arise in the future, I can always separate them. But so far it's been going good, and yeah, I know people won't like it, but for me it has worked fine, and yeah, I will leave it at that. But anyways, let's talk a bit about the plants. Obviously I have a lot of moss, which I think is a really nice addition. It just gives an aged look, as it does in aquariums. It's just a really nice plant that I think all vivariums or paludariums should have. And I also really like ferns, so there's plenty of them in here. They really like the wet habitat of the bottom part of the enclosure here. So I've got mainly ferns and also some marginal aquatic plants here. Really like this cute little palm here. It's a type of Biophytum sensitivum, I think it's called. And yeah, it's a sensitive palm. I don't think it's like a related to normal palms, but I'm not certain. It's really cool anyways. Also, I really just love the bromeliads. I think they really remind me of the actual rainforest and how many epiphytes that grow in the trees, and I really just think they have a cool look to them. And speaking of epiphytes, I have a variety of philodendrons. I particularly like this Atabapoense here, with the burgundy leaves. They look absolutely gorgeous when new leaves are formed. And I have some philodendron Florida green, I think, which has grown quite big as well. This is I don't remember the name of that plant, but it's really cool. And by the way, there's a lot of plants in here that I don't know the name of, so you will have to excuse me for that. But during the pandemic, I developed quite the interest for aeroids, so I have plenty of like cool rare varieties. Like, yeah, I don't know if the Monstera albo is rare anymore, but I got that one at least. And also a Monstera obliqua Peru back here. It's a bit overshadowed by all the other plants, but there's a leaf there, and it's just starting to get the fenestrations. It has one of the most crazy roots that I've ever seen in a plant, and it runs all the way down to the bottom, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I really hope that the frogs will use the bromeliads as nurseries. I think at least the Ranitomeas are able to carry the tadpoles down to the water feature here, and hopefully I can get some tadpoles that develop into mature frogs all in the same enclosure. That would be really cool. I plan to add a coconut hut with a petri dish underneath down here when the aurotus mature, but they're still pretty young. I haven't heard them call yet. And also I don't know if I have males and females. It's a bit difficult to tell. And by the way, if you can help me with sexing these guys, it would be great. The Ranitomeas, I think I have both males and females. I've seen some pretty fat ones, but I don't know if that's an indicator of females, but I'm going off what I know from keeping fish. But yeah, so that would be really helpful if you guys could help me with that. And also don't hate on me for keeping two different species. If you have some actual information contradicting what I read about these guys not being able to hybridize, absolutely give that to me. I would obviously then take actions to separate them, but other than that, I'm very happy with how this enclosure turned out. And yeah, just it's just so relaxing to sit and watch these guys just being kind of clumsy, just jumping around a bit and falling down. You can't help but to laugh. So anyways guys, I've been rambling on long enough, and I would really appreciate it if you like the video and also send a comment my way of any questions that you might have, or if you have any thoughts on my setup and potential problems. As I said, just absolutely send them my way and I will definitely respond. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day.